thing going. It's giving me all kind of hell today. Trying to see what's what on here. Okay. So I'm gonna start inviting people, so y'all just hang tight with me for a second. And we'll get some folks going on here. We gonna get some things going. Let me see. Wow. But man, oh man, oh man. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. And as I do this, y'all just give me a couple minutes. But this live is gonna be a little bit different because the first half, I'm gonna just dig on in, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna be real as I can be with y'all. And then the second part of the live, I'm just gonna go somewhere else, you know? And we will really talk dogs, but I've had a lot of hey Mike, I wish I was little. I'm back up to 242 or 243. I was trying to be on my skinny girl wine phase and stay down to about 220. But, you know, the best part is health is good, mental health is good, so it is what it is, man. You got to take the good with the bad, you know what I mean? And we gonna do that, you know what I'm saying? But as you know, as we go through this thing, man, and y'all been around, so I'm not gonna make this whole thing, you know, some kind of drama thing, but I will tell y'all the truth, man. And this community, as we try to attract people in there, you know what I mean? Oh man, Mike, they said I don't eat, I don't do nothing. You know how that go, man. What's going on, Blackout? Everybody, I haven't seen y'all, you know what I mean? Hey, much love, Shavoy. Everything's solid, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything's solid. You know, I got out of the situations, and I'm always up front with brothers. I tell y'all the real shit, what I did, you know, I had to lightweight get away from everybody and just, you know, fuck with my therapist, make sure I didn't get off on some kind of raging lunatic shit. But really, I feel good, man. I ain't tripping about nothing, you know. As far as the dog stuff, I still got dogs. Things are still going, the right way with that shit. And it's all right, you know what I mean? But what's going on, Trent? You know what I'm saying? But the thing of it is, assalamu alaikum. We have to, as a community, we have to really look at what it is that we're trying to do, because I'm gonna tell y'all like this: what I'm about to go over, it ain't nothing, and I want to keep on repeating this. It ain't nothing about validating me, or, you know, whatever that shit is. But I always like to sometimes use myself as an example, because it really sets the tone for what, you know what I'm saying, for what I can talk about and what I can do. Because with other people, you know what I mean, you gotta hold your tongue some, you know, because I don't like to talk about people's personal business. But when it comes to my things, I'm perfectly fine with speaking on my things and my situations. And the deterioration that I see in the breed is really from bitch assness, you know. And I'm just being real with y'all. It is truly one of the most bitch syndromes that you will see in this community. And we've allowed it to overtake what we do as a community. You know, we've way over allowed it to overtake what we do as a community. And now now we don't have any good dogs. And I'll talk about, you know, just the fact of, you look at this now. And I deal with it a lot, and I'm sure some other breeders deal with it a lot, but you have these individuals who jump on every post, and the first thing that they say is, that's old stuff. You can't live in the past. You can't do this. You can't do that. And with me, sometimes it's literally these is 2 and 3 year old dogs. You know what I mean? But consistency will make it. Will make somebody think that it's old. My new dogs look like my old dogs, and my old dogs looked it good. But I've always lived by the same code when it came to these dogs. And that's why it's a blessing to have people calling me back after 12, 13 years saying they need another dog because the dog I sold them is getting old. Not even dead, but getting old. And as we look at our community, we don't get that from this community. What we're getting from this community is drama, And it's the playbook of all playbooks. And we've seen it in every simple way that you could get it. And trust me, this is going to get interesting. But y'all watch this page. And I'll say this much about myself. Y'all watch this page. And there's some people that I respect and there's some people that not so much. But the one thing that I would tell y'all, hey, y'all hit that like button. The only reason why I tell you to hit the like button, if you don't hit the like button, the algorithm thinks it's like a computer or a robot or something. So like y'all won't be getting any of the updates or anything like that as we start to do like guests and different things like that and bring the podcast live here. So just hitting the like button helps that out. But I'm gonna just be real with y'all. This shit is all fictional. Let's get rolling, damn it. This is all fictional, and the reason why I say it's all fictional is just bottom line this. We start off at the top, and some people are gonna call me hater or whatever the case may be. What's going on, Larry? But this shit is fictional because I'm gonna go through this, and I'll start right at the top. Dave Wilson. It's nothing against Dave, and not to break down Dave. It was something against Dave, but it's not, to say that he hasn't done anything because that would be a lie. But Dave Wilson is currently looked at as this great leader of this community and this, that, and the other. And you talk about Dave. They love to bring up Dave. Not so much anymore because he's so shameful now. But I hate to tell y'all, if you really go back to what dog has Dave Wilson produced, Dave hasn't produced a dog since probably Little Row. You know what I mean? And I'm not, hey, he decided to stop breeding. That's Little Row. That's what he does. But the funny part about it is that the celebrity of Dave Wilson still makes y'all say that Dave Wilson is that dude. He's the this and that and the other. And it's really not the truth. He hasn't really progressed to breed. His best productions, which I love, are really at this point would be close to 30 years old. He didn't produce Demon Boy. You know what I mean? He didn't produce Demon Boy. He didn't produce any of the other new stuff that he's pushing out there. It's just been, I'm gonna go off of me being a celebrity. It's a similar thing to when you look at some of these other guys who've come along. You know what I mean? It has become more so of a celebrity thing. And when we talk about the finer points of the dogs, we never get there. And I hate to even bring it up, but it's always getting brought up. But that's the thing with Tone Roden. And I'm just going to touch on it, but it is what it is, and it's the truth. And I told y'all me and Joel had a talk. But at the end of the day, all I talked about was the fact that I really liked the way those dogs looked, but the breathing was bad. You know what I mean? I said, yeah, Dax, Dave sold out with that Dax stuff. I said the breathing, we're going to talk about Dax real quick too, but the breathing was bad. The breathing was bad. They admitted it and told people you need to have surgeries. Y'all knew that was bullshit. You don't produce a dog to have surgeries. But then what was the flip side of it? Let me do 5 million lives and talk shit about this dude. Meanwhile, while I tell y'all I have his blood, and I'm speaking on this dude as being me, I have his blood in my yard. And what's going on, JD Manning? And at the same time, hey, Corey Chapman, I'm going to call you. I promise, man. I've been trying to catch up on life and do therapy and all this other bullshit. But when it comes down to it is that this whole argument and this whole slander campaign that they had, and y'all saw it right in front of y'all faces. Y'all saw that people was lying. And I'm not talking about individuals, but y'all saw that people was lying and y'all went along with it. And y'all kept going along with it, and it became, what's going on, Jesus? My brother from another. And it went on so long, But all people cared about was the drama. And I'm pulling this together. I know I'm taking a little bit longer. Y'all got to remember, I haven't been on here for a long time. But but the topic of the fact that you had a whole group of people who were telling people to breed dogs with soft palates and heart issues and everything else and breed a bunch of unhealthy dogs, that the immediate thing was, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to go to the old thing, which is always the old thing with me. Oh, what about this? What about that? No, I'm just being real with y'all. The people that they were bringing on there were full of shit. There is people that I owe puppies because shit didn't work out. There's people, you know what I mean, who put deposits down on breedings and never did their breedings or whatever the case may be. But y'all also been here when I say, if you got something going, let me know, because I had puppies all the time, and it is what it is, you know. But that's neither here nor there. But the conversation would always change to being about what's going on, crazy man, out there in the mountains. What's going on, man? But you know what I'm saying? The conversation would always be about downing somebody, starting a bunch of rumors, starting a bunch of bullshit, not talking about the fact that at this point in time, Tone was one of the premier breeders in our breed, period. Without a doubt, Tone was one of the what's going on, Catherine? We got to get on the phone. I just noticed that I missed your call. You know what I mean? What's going on, Tony? But the thing of it is that has become the calling card. Everybody who wants attention, everybody who wants to divert attention, they still start talking shit. And when it comes to me, I don't give a fuck. Y'all can see I don't give a fuck. It's not something that I care. I mean, I just never cared about what people thought of me, you know? When I was a little baby, I was 2 years old. Grandma Betty Quincy, God rest her soul, lived to be 94, died not this March, but the one before that. You know what I'm saying? She always told me, baby, you gorgeous. And my grandma ain't never lied to me, so I ain't never gave a fuck about what nobody else say. But, you know, the truth of the matter is, I am one of those people, I really don't care what people have to say when I know the truth and I stand on the truth and I stand on business. And a lot of y'all have been smart enough to start seeing the fact that the truth is, no matter what it is that I say, it's always these people. I don't even know these people. They make up fake screen pages. They do a million different things. And it's about the drama, because we don't want to talk dogs. We don't want to talk about the fact that your dog shouldn't have bad feet. We don't want to talk about the fact that a dog who wins the national shouldn't have a major breathing problem, that he almost dies at a show and then embarrasses the whole community in front of the world by dying before he even gets to the next nationals. Only lasted 6 months and the national champion is dead. They don't want to talk about these things. Yes, Tone didn't want to talk about the fact that all of his dogs had these breathing issues, and yeah, they went on their rant, they talked their shit. I proved a million of them to be liars, but guess what else happened? Joel later on came to the light, and me and him had a great conversation, and he agreed that you shouldn't be selling dogs that need surgeries and are having trouble breathing and are dying on people. But they always change and divert the conversation. Sometimes I'll go Rick James, and I got to tell y'all this real quick, because y'all know my Rick James shit. Man, look, I knew this was going to be a good week. I woke up Monday morning, right? The lead singer from Rick James' girls group, the Mary Jane Girls, the original, she followed me on TikTok, sent me a message and everything. I said, what the hell? I knew it was going to be a good week. I got one of the Mary Jane Girls on there. That's the God honest truth. And speaking of God honest, I want to get this out the way so we can talk some dogs. Look, don't y'all pay no attention to that crazy. How the hell do you say that? I'm just saying 8150. I'm just going to say your screen name is 8150 because he's crazy. But look, this is the funniest thing, and he telling y'all the truth, but this is the funniest thing. Therapy, emotional support, much love. This habit of people always wanting to be in a situation to where they use drama for attention has killed our community. And I'm being real. Now y'all gonna see me get. I know it's Justin, but I wanted you. They can't see Justin. Your screen name don't say Justin. Damn it! It say Mugi Waga Rana 8150. I don't know. You was high when you did that, but it's killed the community. And I know we don't like to get our feet dirty sometimes, but we have to talk about certain things that get our feet dirty sometime. Everybody's calling card in this community is to throw dirt, to talk crazy to people, to insult people, to get those gangster fingers all over the internet, and to start the drama. I call it like the 50 Cent thing, because we need, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, y'all make sure y'all hit them likes, man, because that's what keeps the algorithm going, and y'all gonna love it, because me and Danny Navoa, within the next 2 weeks, I know it's my fault, by the way. I was supposed to send him something and I didn't send it. It's the model for the microphones. But we're gonna be doing the podcast. We're gonna be bringing in guys like Oscar Gomez. I'm gonna snatch Pratt's out and get him. Y'all never even heard Pratt's talk, so I'm gonna get Pratt's on there. I'm gonna get we're gonna have young breeders like Mel. Big Mel gonna come on there. We got a nice list of people who gonna line up. Y'all gonna actually get to see some of the other members of Hall of Fame. Danny Guerrero, I'm gonna get Danny on there, and Danny be doing his own thing. He got Rottweilers, he got horses, he got everything. But but Danny is a great dog, man. That's the other Danny. Danny Navoa is Top Shelf Bullies. But we gonna get Dog Man on here. I'm gonna get Marco Suarez. I had already told me anytime brother, so he gonna come on. But we gonna really start talking dogs, man. I'm gonna snatch Michael Sniper Bailey. We got to catch him when he ain't at work. You know what I mean? He been telling us for years that he work at this factory, but really I believe the motherfucker own it, because every time I call him, he there. But we gonna talk a lot of dogs, but I definitely want to. Yeah, Pratt's don't talk, but I'm gonna get him out, because when Pratt's come on, we gonna talk about lifting weights. We gonna talk about everything, man. But the thing of it is that in this thing, and it started a long time ago with the drama. Everybody wants drama. No one wants to talk to the truth. We glaze past things. And it wasn't the kick tone or nothing like that, but it's something wrong with breeding bad dogs. We, for years, allowed Bashar, and everybody said everybody was hating on Bashar. And the whole community saw that Bashar's dogs kept dying. I talked to transporters. I know transporters, and these transporters absolutely, positively refuse to even move his dogs because they die. But guess what? It would, anytime I would say something about that, it would become threats, it would become drama. It was the ultimate diversion tactic. And accountability in this community is needed. You know what I mean? Man, much love. Hey, much love, JD Manning, for sure. All the way from Cali. I'm going to be out there next year. I'm going to be out there. But it's just, he said, you got to say, Mike said, I have homes, I have kids, so I have to stay busy. But the thing of it is that why, exactly, Jesus, why are people offended by the notion of breeding healthy dogs? We've seen Dave go this road, just try to start throwing slander, and I've always bitten my tongue, but I'm not going to keep on biting my tongue. I'm not going to do that. I've always been the one, and my therapist told me that makes you a target sometimes. When you know the truth on situations and everybody else is slanging dirt, the only voice that they hear is the dirt throwers. And I started to notice this because people got more and more brazen. The one fool came on there and he said, yeah, back in 2009, you got me for $5,000. And I said, well, damn, that's amazing, because in 2009, I was in the penitentiary. So I don't know who the hell you was buying dogs from, but... But this was it, because we've always, what's going on, Keith? What's going on? LaRon Turner, Healthy Dogs Matter, for sure. We've always diverted away from this conversation, and look at the mess that we have now. We've allowed people like Khan, and y'all know this for a fact. Y'all know that Khan, the fucking people busted Khan with 70 plus dogs with heart issues galore at his camp down there in Louisiana with his cousin, and people kept supporting his ass. Now, what happened with all of those dogs that came off of that Rocco shit? They start dropping like flies. But when people talk shit to Khan would get indignant, the same playing card. Talk shit, until y'all found out that Khan was truly a piece of shit. Until it became overwhelming that he was a piece of shit. When we talked about Dax, we talked about how fucked up Dax was. I put up the video of Dax, and I showed y'all how bad Dax was. I didn't have a problem with Ed Shepherd. Why would I have a problem with an old man, an OG, God rest his soul? It was the fact that when y'all seen pictures of this dog, the dog's ass was higher than his head. He couldn't move and he was struggling to breathe. I'll repost the video today. And y'all know I'm not lying. Y'all saw this, but guess what? It went to, oh yeah, and you did this, and you was in jail, and you was this. Come on, man. Like you said, yeah, the Rocco bud was worse than Muscle Tones. They're all dead now. We accepted this and we made champions out of them, and they all died. It wasn't about hating. I don't care who. Why do y'all think I love Prats and Marco and some of my OGs? It ain't just because personally the guys is cool guys. It really boils down to they're pushing good dogs. That's what it comes down to. I support the newer breeders who are pushing good dogs. Miss Lady that y'all just heard me talk to, Catherine, I tell you one thing, she's doing breedings, but she's all about health testing and making good dogs. This is why, well, I consider her a friend, but this is why I would support her, because people like this are going to be the lifeblood of this breed going forward. And yeah, I'm over here stirring my tea. Don't y'all laugh at me. But this is it. This is what we need. Not people who, anytime you bring up dogs being screwed up, anytime you bring up dogs that can't breathe, it's obvious that their movement is not correct. It's, oh, let me talk bad about somebody. Let me talk about who is a whore. Let me make up this lie. Let me make up that lie. It's always something. See, this community is too much about celebrity. This is the reason why, and I'm sorry. And I'm being real on this. I'm sorry. Because, how do I say this? A lot of you have reached out to me and wanted me to do these shows and offered good money to do the shows, and I've turned down a lot of shows, and I just didn't have a yeah, Pratt's backing away from that damn extreme shit too. Yeah, he stuck his toe in the water and got burnt. That quick, he going back to the old shit. I guess I don't know, man. But you know what I'm saying? When we that's a good question, and I'll go back to what I was saying. But when we talk about breed type, that's another illusion. The word breed type is really the description of what the breed is supposed to be. At no point in time in the American Bully does it say that the American Bully is supposed to be a bulldog. I'm not being arrogant, but I help write the thing. It's not supposed to be a bulldog. It's supposed to be more so an extreme version of a pit bull. More size, more, you know what I mean? But the dog is still supposed to be fine wine. It's supposed to be able to move well. It's supposed to be able to breathe well. It is supposed to be distinctively different from the Alapaha, the American Bulldog, and other short-haired bulldogs that would fit in his size range. Have we accomplished that? No, we have not. Many of these dogs look like Odies now. Many of these dogs look like Alapahas now. A lot of these dogs actually look like American Bulldogs now. That is a major, 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 major failure. Catherine, I told you 100 times. I call yours American Bullies because American Bully is supposed to still see some pit bull traits in these dogs. I would always rather have a healthy, really, really good moving, nice American Bully that maybe is a little more terrier than a bulldog who's already broken down. Because this is the reason. If you give me a bulldog that's broken down, it's nothing I can do with it. And I'm being honest with y'all, not hating, because I know that's everybody's hating. No, the truth of the matter is if you give me a dog that already is swaying the back, already getting stiff in the rear, maybe the feet are starting to splay. You give me a lot of these qualities that come with the extremes, the long back. Imagine how much work you're asking me to do genetically. You know what I mean? I appreciate you, Keith. You are literally, your math equation is this, right? And we do and anybody who is a part of my program, you know I'll talk about analytics. But it's an analytic equation. Take the dog, right? And you take, and fuck it, we gonna be real. Take the dog that just died that was Nationals champion. What features would you want from that dog? He was big. He was bully. fair confirmation. I won't say great confirmation because I seen the dog. He was fair confirmation. So you put those good qualities in there, but then we have to take the fact that his confirmation was fair. The movement wasn't the greatest. He had a major, major, major breathing problem that ended up with his death, right? Why would I want to add that into my gene pool? So you mean I'm going to take my bitch that's good confirmation or great confirmation if she comes from D-line, but great breathing. I'm going to take a very nice bitch and I'm going to put him to this dog and I'm going to expect a better dog? This is the insanity that we do in dog breeding. When I post up dogs, it's not just a flex. I love my dogs. I love what I do. But I will tell you guys this is that sometimes I'm trying to be a teacher and I'm not a good teacher because I'm trying to show y'all that if you stay consistent with good genes, you can make a better dog. Mandela, giant bone, giant head. You don't see, like, you notice the conversation was never, let's put the extremes next to Mandela, because he was massive, 26.5-inch head, big ass dog. All good blood, nothing extreme about it. This is the art of making dogs that they have gotten away from. Selective breeding, you have to be patient. You are going to make litters and there's only going to be one puppy that you really like in that litter, but you have now become successful because you have cleared a hurdle that it takes to be a good breeder. It's the reason, don't get me wrong, Mandela's litter was not horrible, but there was nothing else in Mandela's litter that looked like him. There were some nice ones, especially the girls. The girls were nice, but his brother was like a little smaller, just not quite as nice as Mandela. He was more like a very nice, like little average pocket. But when you had Mandela, it allowed you to go to the next level. This is the same thing with dogs like Remy and other dogs where you find the best dog and you let their genetics push it forward. But the key is to always go good genetics, good genetics, good genetics. You people, what's going on, Danny Wilson? You people have to stop trying to fix these dogs. It's really the opposite of what you think. You are fucking up good dogs. I'm being real with y'all. I'm not a big time breeder no more. I'm gonna do 2-3 breedings a year. I gotta focus on other things, like these babies. But I have to focus on other things. And I want to focus on more and more education on how to breed. There should be an absolute line as to how we look at the dogs. I hate to tell you guys, that line that no dog is perfect, that's stupid. Yes, there are. There are, in every other breed outside of the American Bully, you will find a dog that fits their standard perfectly. That's the perfect dog. You know what I mean? That's the perfect dog. Man, emotional support, let them know. You got to stay in your lane. You can't keep on thinking you're going to jump. And I'm going to tell you one of the dumbest things, and I don't care who, I don't give a fuck who gets offended. One of the dumbest things about going outside, you know what I mean, of Kitty, what's going on, my brother? It's like this. Everybody y'all tell me one breeder who has went extreme and you've seen it work out for them. It doesn't. I'm not going to tell everybody secrets, but when I tell you I don't know of any breeders who used extreme dogs and made a healthy line of dogs, I don't. Everyone, including the big names, there's rumblings of struggles that they've had with breathing, heart issues, or whatever the case may be. It's just that simple. It's not hating. If that was the way to go, I would have went that way. Why? I'm not that damn stupid that I would just have maximum resistance to something that works. It hasn't worked. Where's Bashar at right now? You know why you don't hear a lot from Bashar? It's because most of his dogs died. You don't hear a lot from Khan because most of the dogs died. Major health issues eliminated them. The reason you don't hear much from Dave Wilson is because he had the Bashar shit, and this is why you don't see dogs from him. Those dogs died. This is why these people advertise a lot of dogs, and you see them at 1 or 2 years old, but guess what? Those dogs died. Keith, I never lose breed type. I produce big dogs. Now, my thing is that I don't want an overdone dog because I like athleticism. But I'll post up like 40 or 50 dogs that I produced over the years or that are in the family, and I'll produce some more current ones. And I'll tell you the one thing that they have is they all have breed type. Some of them are large dogs. Some of them are 100-pound, 110-pound dogs. But the one thing that they can do is anybody who got a dog from me, they'll tell you, you can put that dog outside in 100-degree weather. You know what I mean? That's the thing. The current standard is bullshit. You know, go look at Mandela. Mandela, what was that? Mandela was born 12 years ago, and Mandela is every bit as bully as any dog you will ever find. And the problem with this is this is the problem. We have to be patient. It's not about finding a shortcut to say, look how good my dog is. It's about playing the long game to put together a machine that looks like the dream you have. Make sure that dog has great movement, great lungs, has the capacity to live in cold weather, has the capacity to live in hot weather. And then guess what happens? Now you've got to breed. And yeah, Mike, and you down there in hot weather. You got to breed, and we have to build these dogs up. What is happening now is we have sacrificed for this look. We have sacrificed the entire breed because they can't live. What good is it to have a dog that has all of these muscles, even if the dog had great conformation, but it lives 3 years? They are giving us the examples, and we don't want to look at them because of the diversion tactics. The Nationals champion is dead. The current Nationals champion is dead. All of the dogs that people have been fans over of the years that is Stream and this and that and the other, they're dead. The experiment proved that this does not work. The breed, I'm going to tell you something. Denzel would be, if Denzel was still living, he would be, let me think of what year that was. Denzel would be about 20, right? Denzel had breed type. For what they call breed type, I remember they used to say Denzel was too bully. When Denzel was showing and he was 78 pounds at 14 inches, he had the breed type. Bistro had breed type. And the problem that we have is that this word breed type has also been used as an excuse to try to change the breed. I can get you pictures of a Doberman from 100 years ago and it still looks like a Doberman. The word breed type is really the standard, what the standard is supposed to be. What happened is that because of Dave Wilson, and it really is his fault. I'm not picking on Dave in this one because he kept on saying breed type, breed type, breed type. Ask other people in other breeds what breed type means. It means the standard. So if Hallie was the standard, then what is this now? Because I'm going to tell y'all one thing we weren't, you know what I'm saying, is stupid. So if you look at any version of the standard, the one thing that you will never find is when we wrote the standard off of Paco and Hallie, we never said, oh yeah, we want it to be like Hallie, but more like a bulldog with a wide chest and an overdone head and a long back. We didn't say any of that. Hallie, those who seen her will tell you that bitch was basically 16 inches, and at her highest weight, which I think that was too high, was like 92, 93 pounds. I liked her better in the well, she was 95. I think I liked her better right at that 89 to 90. She was more cut, but that was a big bitch. If you ever seen Paco couldn't put on any more weight. If you look at his pictures, if he put on more weight, he got fat. That was breed type. These people have convinced the whole community that breed type means change the whole entire breed. And the problem is we never perfected the original breed. We never perfected the original breed at all. At all. And the reason why you see so many breeders that are coming, LaRon Turner for sure. The reason why you see so many breeders that are coming and going is because it's a frustrating process. If you think about it, they change the standard every couple years. Something new comes in and they change it. So how are you supposed to be a breeder if I don't know what I'm breeding? Guess what? If I make Rottweilers, right? Which I used to do Rottweilers. and I'm about to get another one. But if I do Rottweilers, check this out. I could breed my Rottweilers the same way today as I did almost 30 years ago. That's a breed type. Breed type is not supposed to change. The extreme dog is a different breed. But you didn't have people who were at the top that was smart enough to just say, hey, this is the extreme breed. You know what I mean? That's it. I can give y'all simple solutions on everything. Oh, Mel, you know Santana gonna make it out there. Why not just make another dog? Exactly, Jesus. You could have just easily made another dog. Now, I can compare the Rottweiler because the Rottweiler gave the American Bully a formula and we just did not follow it. That's the thing. We didn't follow it. What are you going? When does this fake ass evolution stop in the American Bully? When does it stop? You keep changing the dog so much, but guess what? Now we've hit a wall. Now we've hit a wall where literally the national champion falls out dead. You go to nationals and you can't even get 200 people in the house. Shows used to be 2,000 people. Veterinarians are turning the breed down. At what point do you realize that you had the show won in the beginning? We didn't have these problems 15 years ago. We just didn't. Well, let me say probably 15 years ago. That's when Dax and them came around. But the original dogs didn't have it. And that's the problem. We have to stop making excuses for our failures. You know what I mean? We have to stop making these excuses for our failures. The thing of it is that we don't have the real ability to combine listen to what you're saying, the old blood versus the new blood. Why is it new? If this breed was actually started, why is it new? Keith, I'm gonna tell you something. If it was always old, it wouldn't be new. So you know why everybody calls it new? And this is why I said that's that one thing where you do like this, but you got something else over here. The reason why they call it new blood is because we all know that it's a Lapahas mixed in there. That's why it's a sudden burst of Merle dogs. That we all know that there are Oldie Bulldogs being mixed in. We all know that there are English Bulldogs being mixed in. In the XL world, there are people mixing in South African Borbeaux. They're mixing in a multitude of different dogs. That's why it's always referred to as the new. Because I'm going to tell you, ain't nothing that came from Hallie, ain't nothing that came from Denzel, ain't nothing that came from anything through D-line. You notice they don't say new. No matter if the dog gets big like Mandela, they don't call it new. You know why they don't call it new is because when you look at the pedigree, you already know that this is what it is. No, people have not been hanging papers, and these are the excuses that we make. We make excuses for fucking up the dogs. Nobody tried to change a breed. That's why we had consistency when we started this breed. But when people got greedy and just decided we're going to change the breed, now you have a whole situation where everybody is confused. You got some people trying to breed healthy dogs. You got some people doing what they want. Like you say, everybody's hanging papers every which way, which there should have been a mandatory DNA testing a long time ago. And if this is ever going to become a breed, it has to be cut out. You know? It's all, you know what I'm saying? It's all a different breed. That's all it is. If you want to change something, you are creating a different breed. And this is one of the things that's frustrating about our community is why not just say you're creating something else? That's it. If you want to change the dog so bad, if you want to change the look of the dog so bad, give it another name. That's what they did with the Brazilian, whatever they call it. They just changed the name. Real, I appreciate it. But, you just change the name. Make something different. This has been the biggest lie and the weirdest thing that has gone on for years. Do y'all really think that Dax came from the original dogs? The look totally changed. Y'all really believe that Miyagi? I know y'all don't believe that Miyagi is an American bully. The guy told y'all he was putting Frenchie in there. He's one of the big breeders that finally admitted it. that he just was putting Frenchie in there. So why do we have to dumb our conversations to believe that this is the same thing? You can always make something else. I told Dave when the Merle shit started happening, I said, Dave, why don't you just make a Merle bully? You protect your American bully, and you can just create a new breed called the Merle bully, monitor it, and see how it goes. American bullies can go into Merle bullies, but Merle bullies can't come back into American bullies. You have a whole new breed. That's what you do. The real Rottweiler community, the real South African Boer community, two communities that I deal with, I'm going to tell you, you don't get to play games. You don't get to do bullshit. You might see weird looking Rottweilers. They're not accepted. They're not accepted. Those weird dogs, you take them to real Rottweiler shows, they kick that shit out. We are at a hard breaking point in our community because if we don't fix this shit, do y'all not agree with me, or am I tripping? Is this community not dying? The activity is not the same. Oh, the money killed everything. But the activity is not the same. The shows are smaller. Everything is small now. The people are moving away from these dogs. So many breeders that were years ago that I would tell y'all, I could call them up. I knew they was doing this and that and the other. They're not doing anything anymore. It's hard to get people to want to come to our community because we have to hear stupid shit like they're thugs and they're this and they're that. We get that kind of talk all the time. And guess what? You know what I mean? We're not getting good dogs. Keith, you keep on saying, look, I'm going to tell you right now, me and Oscar are friends. You said the shows are not dying. I've been to a few WBA shows these past couple years, and there were tons of beautiful dogs. You don't know tons, because I'm going to tell you, Mr. WBA, Oscar Gomez, will tell you, the shows that he's throwing at the WBA right now is literally 10% of what we used to throw. Because he's talking about getting it back elevated to that level of how we used to do it. That's why I'm saying you might be new to this because you don't understand. I've judged shows that had 6,000 people. Oscar has thrown shows that's had 2,500 to 3,500 people. The show that Denzel won at Nationals had an attendance of over 2,000 people at that show. It was so many damn dogs that they had a hard time figuring out how they were going to finish the show that day. The American Bully used to be that thing. It used to be rock stars coming to our shows. You know what I mean? It used to be big ass shows. You're trying to argue and debate. Yes, when you say apples to oranges, that definitely means that it's different. It's changing. It's dying. It's not the same. The greatness that it used to have is not the same. We used to have Senators and Caesar Milan and all of those good things showing up at our shows. Now we are banned again and people don't want to be by us. You have a Nationals that's empty. We have a Nationals that is a dead champion. We have all of this mayhem going on. You are absolutely correct. It is apples to oranges because the American Bully does not carry the greatness that it once used to carry. Little Ro was sitting in Hollywood, poolside. We had people really rocking with us. People don't want to do anything anymore. You know what I mean? They don't want to do anything anymore. People don't want to go to shows. The show host, Keith, you keep on trying to have this debate. The fucking show host said that they stopped throwing shows because people don't want to go. Attendance is down all across the board. It was a point in time where we would announce a show and 2 weeks later the show was sold out. The community loved these dogs. To take it a step further, there are places now that these dogs are banned. How is that better? How is that better? Explain. There are countries now that are banning these dogs. There are veterinarians that refuse to have service to these dogs. We cannot have a good show anymore. This is not a good thing. This is, bro, I hate to tell you, I can tell you're a newbie to this because you talking about, look at the breeders in Mexico and South America. They've been doing this shit. I was judging shows in Mexico and South America for over a decade ago, and that was one of the shows where I judged that had 4,000 or 5,000 people. They've been doing it. But in the country that these dogs were created in, it's dying. There used to be shows in Poland. I know because I have a Poland champion. There used to be shows all over Europe. There are not that many shows anymore. There used to be a lot of shows in Canada. There are not shows in Canada anymore. You know? At the end of the day, I can tell you just want to argue and debate, but this is my motherfucking breed. Yes, it was ours, but I definitely put my stamp on this shit, and I can tell you this stuff is low quality. You know what I mean? This stuff is low quality. You know what I mean? And the fact that you keep on repeating the term breed type, and you don't know what you're talking about, the breed type is the standard of the breed. Look it up. You probably got Chat GPT. They will tell you breed type means what the standard says that the dog should be. And if you are willing to breed a dog and risk the health of the dog, you are not a breeder. You are a hustler, because you are going to sell dogs to people that will die on them. Or possibly, for those who like certain dogs, sell a dog to somebody who has a child and the dog murders that child. You're not a fucking breeder if all you can talk about is this mythical thing called breed type. That's why the breed is dying. That's why the breed is dying. Yes, I am old school. I do not have a belief in my mind that the bullshit that they put in the ring today is better than Ruger. At all. 100-pound dog. Beautiful, thick, great movement. No, it's not that. They keep on saying breed type because they want you to have a bulldog. These motherfuckers can't breathe, can't move. This is why you don't see videos of those type of dogs out running around in the sun. This is why they won't turn the sound down, and they always want to put fucking Yeezy or somebody over the video because the dogs can't breathe. This is why we can't even do nothing since then. It's no such thing as evolution. The term evolution is a long-term thing. That's called change. When you add something, that's change. The evolution of the breed would have been to take the original breeding stock, get the best out of each breeding, get the best out of each breeding, get the best out of each breeding, and make a better dog. But when y'all start introducing oldies and Alapahas and all this designer shit, that's something different. That's change. That's not evolution. We have to be real about these terms and these phrases that everybody throws out. Evolution is one single thing, changing over time, not adding different things to it, because that's a different species. Literally a different species. And I don't have a problem with, no, you know, if we did outside shows, every fucking dog would die. We don't have a problem with someone starting their own thing, because we started our own thing. We couldn't sit there, and that's the thing. People try to debate with us, but we did this shit. The American Bully started because the UKC and the AKC no longer wanted us around because we couldn't claim evolution. When they start seeing dogs like Cairo and they start seeing, we're like, where the fuck is these 85, 105-pound dogs? This is not a pit bull. This is not a Staffy. You've got to go. And Denzel blood does not turn terrier. I can put up 30 dogs, and that's the thing. Keith, if you want to listen, you can listen. But if you hear the troll, you can troll, because I put up plenty of dogs that got pecs. I put up plenty of dogs that's huge. Ain't nothing about Denzel's dogs terrier unless we're going for terriers. I put in Gav blood, and some of my dogs were more terrier because I want the athleticism. I want the breathing. I love the fact that in 100-degree weather, my dogs will go out, lay on their back, and sunbathe while other dogs die in air condition. I love the fact that when I'm walking my dog is just like me. If a dog run up, we gonna beat that ass. Not that I'm gonna fall over and you gotta put ice packs and shove a lemon up my ass and get to respirating and shocking. That's not a dog. My dogs will fuck you up, and I love that. I love the fact that my dogs can take the worst of conditions, whether I'm in Ohio and it's 0 degrees, or if I'm in El Paso and it's 125 degrees. I can go to sleep and not worry about finding my dog dead because he couldn't take the rain. Like New Edition, can you stand the rain? Them dogs can't stand the rain. Y'all keep talking about this evolution and the motherfucking dog died. We got Mr. Beans that shows with ice packs on. This is what y'all call evolution? We got Dax dying trying to breed. Are you serious? This was where the evolution started at. And this is what y'all keep trying to sell me on, and I'm not going to be sold on it. The dog died trying to bust a nut. What kind of evolution is that? The Nationals champion is dead. All of the dogs that y'all talk, Golden, what is it, Golden Child and this and that and the other, that shit's dead. Dead, 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 dead. That's not evolution, that's extinction. We must learn the difference. We must learn the difference between extinction and evolution. These dogs are dead. Dead. If I would have invested in them little wings that they put on these little ugly motherfuckers, I would be filthy rich. I'm so tired of seeing dogs with wings and carrying on, and they say all dogs go to heaven, but it is full. Ain't no more room for them little ugly motherfuckers. And y'all keep on, and they gonna breed them some more, and this is gonna be fire. Then you see the dog waddling around, can't breathe, can't do nothing. This is sad. This is animal abuse. This is animal abuse. As a man with 10,000 kids and about to be twins on the way, look here. I would be devastated if my dogs died because they trying to do the nasty. I would be devastated. I would be absolutely devastated if my dog couldn't hump. You think about it. I got shirts. I'm going to bring them shirts back. That's what the dogs do. Dogs hump. Dog might hump a leg, a pillow. Dog might hump a stuffed animal. Dogs hump. That's why women call men dogs, because we like to hump, damn it. Your dogs can't even hump. Talking about extreme. That's extremely sad when you can't hump. I wish that woman would bring her ass home and get to land and I see a cheek and I can't hump. This is what y'all promoting? That ain't bully. That ain't bully. That is not bully. A bunch of sick dogs? How much more proof do we need? You silly, man. DY, you silly. But how much more proof do we need? At this point, the champion is dead. Healthy dogs matter. Hey, I appreciate you. 1714. I'm not about to mess up du jour. But what more do we need? They're dying. This is not an argument. If it I didn't even read Catherine's whole thing because it's moving so fast, but I would tell you, I would much rather have a dog that can go out and run and live and this and that and the other. My dogs are not terrier. Y'all don't even know the meaning of terrier. Y'all keep using terrier as a slander. Terrier is a great thing. The American Pit Bull Terrier is the greatest breed of dog that ever graced the face of this earth. It has that argument. But what it is, and me being a psychology major is, once again, people try to shame things to take away the narrative. Yes, I will take my terrier any day. My dog that will bust another dog's ass. My dog that can hump and not die. My dog that can defend itself and defend my kids. My dog that can live 16 years. I will take my terrier any day over the trash that dies right after y'all handed it a trophy when the son of a bitch was dying at the show. I'll take that any day. Any day. Y'all let these people convince y'all of this dumb shit. This is absolutely dumb shit. Y'all running around here, Mr. Beans with fucking ice packs on him, and y'all got the nerve to talk about how much fire that is. Dog's ass higher than his head, but should be bouncing like Beyonce. Uh-oh is right. The motherfucker just died with his high ass. Trying to convince the world that the American Bully is getting better when we basically don't have shows. When we used to have shows, 3-4 shows in the country at one time. These dogs is horrible now. Horrible. Horrible. They're horrible. It's bad when the government gets involved. These dogs are horrible. That's why Dave Wilson hides. Let's just be realistic. That's why Dave Wilson hides. He hides because he knows he destroyed the breed selling out. What the fuck happened to Casablanca? Every time they sell y'all this dream that this is the next big dog. Mr. Beans ain't produced shit. Casablanca didn't produce shit. Y'all talk about Brim, Grim, Tim, and all them motherfuckers. They ain't producing shit. Them dogs is dying. They congratulate a motherfucker for living 8 years. That's halfway in my program. And I don't have to do nothing special. I don't have to carry no lemons. I don't have to have a water hose. I don't have to have an ice pack. The only thing I have to have is a very, very strong leash. All them dogs is dead. Ain't none of them dogs living no 18 years. Ain't none of them dogs living 10 years. None of them. Khan's whole fucking yard is basically just don't exist. The only one that lived a long life is basically Rocco. That shit was dying left and right. People complaining about it. Ain't nobody exaggerating. Because I tell you one thing about this is, it's basic mathematics. Remember, I love analytics. Them motherfuckers with all these extreme dogs start breeding when the dogs is 8 months. Y'all breed everything 30, 40,000 times a year. If those dogs wasn't dying at the rate that they are dying, the whole world would be flooded with extreme dogs because extreme breeders just don't have no ethics and all they do is breed. But they die just as fast as they born, so it allows the world to stay the way it is. That's the truth. That's the truth. They breed and they die. They breed and they die. They breed and they die. This is sad, man. I'm not trying to be argumentative, but I'm telling y'all, we are seeing animal cruelty at its highest level. And we try to mix it up with all of these false narratives, but guess what? Not here. We don't get to do false narratives. If it is a beautiful, nice dog, if y'all notice, I talk about people's dogs from other yards all the time. I've seen some big, impressive, beautiful dogs. But if the dog can't pass a health test and can't live a long life, what are we doing? Can y'all tell me the greatness of any of these recent national champions? I'll wait. You ever notice how dogs are announced as champions and everybody's talking about them, then all of a sudden they stop talking about them? Y'all ain't never noticed that? Y'all ain't never noticed that with these so-called extreme New Age American bullies, that they blow them up and they, oh my God, this is the biggest thing ever. Watch what he do. Watch what he do. About a year later, we never hear from him. That motherfucker dead. He dead. I told y'all about Dax. Dead. I told y'all. Dead. Not just him. Imagine. Dax died young, and within 2 years, you couldn't even find sons off of Dax. It was like 4 sons. They representing the Dax son. The motherfucker had 5 kids, and there's 4 left. Motherfuckers ain't even got enough to make the Temptations. But I'm crazy. I know I can be entertaining at times, but I promise you this, I love these fucking dogs. I love them. I fucking love them. I want to see them succeed. Y'all think it's about me? It ain't about me. I don't even really care to breed that much. I'm just keeping it. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. To death. This is serious. If I did not have Dooney, Poop, and Easy, or DeCarla, Max, and Mateo, as they like to be called, because I embarrass them, I probably wouldn't breed no more. I just know my kids love this thing and they take a lot of pride in it. So I want to set them up that when it's their time, that they can do what their daddy do. And they really, you know, my boys especially, they tell me, Dad, I want to breed some badass dogs. And so that's it. You know, and Warren Beard, a lot of people are leaving the breed because once you go to a different breed, you start to see, look, man, the fucking Rottweilers can be crazy sometimes. You know what I mean? No, I'm gonna breed, John Smith. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna breed. I'm just not gonna breed at a high level. 2-3 breedings a year. That's it. get them in the right hands, and watch them grow like little seeds. I don't want to own 20 dogs no more. I just want to really, really specify, do some real fire shit, and then I want to get back to judging, speaking, doing the shit with the registry. That's where me and the family is focused at now. I got great people around me, and that's where we think the focus needs to be. You know what I mean? Is that if this breed is going to survive, I feel like I have to be one of the people to go ahead and go a different way. You know what I mean? Because this shit is a shit show. Oh yeah, Texas Legacy was a big ass dog. That's why I said we had huge dogs. We had dogs that could survive. What we're seeing now is the dogs are dying, and it's not funny. It's the way that people have gone about things. It's sad because legislation is going to get us, and the breeding needs to slow down. We need to become better breeders, not volume breeders. We need to be the type of breeders that is strictly about quality. You know what I mean? We have to do it. We have to do it. Because I'll tell you this. I used to move dogs for some animal cruelty places, right? And I never seen a South African Bordeaux on the bus. And we were taking 40, sometimes 60 dogs from Houston to Colorado. I never seen a Bordeaux. I never seen a Dalmatian. I have to be honest with you, I never seen a Rottweiler. I never seen a lot of breeds, but guess what I always seen? I always seen American bullies. Always seen American bullies. Always. Always. On the last live, it was somebody that lived in San Antonio, and they talked about the amount of dogs that are in the things. You know what I mean? Keith, I don't have to post dogs anymore. I've been posting them, but I don't have to post the dogs anymore. And that's another thing. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If y'all hear me say that, look here. I posted a nice new guy. I posted a nice female the other day. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And it ain't being arrogant. This is just me. And y'all know what I'm about to do, so y'all bear with me. First ever champion. First ever 3-time champion. Largest nationals champion. First ever 3 times grand champion. First ever champion on 2 different continents. Champion. At some point, y'all see this, talking about those are 10 years ago. No, Messiah won, 4 years ago, and I got dogs showing now, and Tommy was a new dog, but they killed him. I mean, what do you want? I don't have to keep proving myself over and over again. You wouldn't ask Michael Jordan to shoot a free throw. You wouldn't ask Mike Tyson, can he punch? You wouldn't ask Michael Jackson, God rest his soul, could he dance? Could he do a concert? I done did that shit. I done did it at the highest level. I done whooped asses for 30 years. Why would I keep on trying to prove stuff to people who ain't never proved it? Please follow me on this. If the trophies was in this room, y'all wouldn't see a room. I mean, championship after championship, D-line legacy, dogs all over the world in different countries. Why would I keep on trying to prove anything? You keep talking about evolution, but that's what y'all do. Y'all move the bar when you can't do what I do. That's it. You don't think I could breed bulldogs, unhealthy bulldogs, and make them better than y'all? Are you serious? The only reason why I don't dominate the extreme game is because I don't care to be extreme. I want healthy dogs. I love the real American bully. Y'all move the bar. You people will never make me feel bad about a Denzel, a Mandela, or more recently a Tommy, or now we got Tommy's son and some of these other kids around here, still some of Mandela. And you will never, never, never. I am the standard. And one of them. Oscar Gomez would never feel that he needs to placate to what y'all doing now. Why should we? We are the standard. We what started this shit. Why should we break our dogs down and make them less healthy, make them less in every way to what, get accepted? We talked about acceptance, and this is the problem. Tommy didn't have no snipey muzzle. Look at you. You still throwing hate, and I'm literally one of the GOATs. I don't have to keep breeding. Hating ass bitch. I don't have to keep on breeding. What are you talking about, Keith? I don't have to keep breeding. And if I do breed, guess what's going to happen? It's going to be better than all that bullshit y'all making. And I have been breeding. I just don't put them all the way out there. The last 2 years is the only time I took off. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And this is what they do, and he's making my point, is people come and they try to hate, 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 and it doesn't work. You don't have to keep on doing something over and over again. What did I just tell you? When LeBron retires, is y'all gonna tell LeBron that he gotta come back every 2 or 3 years to prove that he was LeBron? Hell no, we can't get along, because I be tired of this fake and this fan. Make a Denzel. Make a Rome. Make a Biggie. Make a Tommy. Make something. One thing I can say about Tommy, God rest his little dog soul, is Tommy can stand the heat and Tommy would kill shit. And Mel, you experienced Tommy's attitude. I make real dogs. The only reason why people come to hate is because the truth of the matter is y'all look at that shit that I was doing and it fucks with y'all. Y'all said make them bigger, I made Mandela. You know what I mean? Y'all said make them pocket, I made Denzel. Y'all said make them classic, I made Castro. They said make another Castro, me and Danny made Kane. They said make a big boy, I made Messiah. Champion, 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 champion. Man, I ain't got to take no responsibility for shit, because I ain't never made no fucked up dog. That ain't me. I don't do that. I take responsibility for what it is. Dog, Castro is one of the baddest motherfuckers you keep on talking about today. If you move the goalpost, you right. If they put me in a contest of best female, I wouldn't win. But if you put me in a contest of cock diesel, I got a chance. You see what I'm saying, Mike? I got too many. Yeah, hey, you know that. They always come. And that's what we was talking about. This is the community where the fake profiles, Justin, the fake profiles. People make profiles yesterday and they always talk. And the funniest thing about me is they always tell me I ain't relevant, but they know everything about every piece of gossip, every dog, every this, every that, this, that, and the other. This is what's wrong with the community. Arguing for fucked up shit, coming to hate, but then you can't tell me nothing about a healthy dog. You can't even tell me nothing about how to put the dog together. You can't tell me about DNA. Probably can't even tell me about how to properly breed the dog at what level of the progesterone. You probably can't tell me about anything with testing of the hips, testing of the cardiovascular. Y'all can't tell anything, but this is the thing that this community does. Over and over and over again, we move the goalpost. I'm going to take an interlude and I'm just going to tell y'all this. Just like this dude, Byron. Give me 10 minutes. That's all y'all got to do. And this is the perfect example of how delusional a community can be. You got Byron Hayes, right? Byron Hayes literally bragged to the community and said, he's in jail, he's never coming back, yada, 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 yada. Now keep in mind, this is a person who can't tell you I ever did anything to him. Posed as a friend, you know what I'm saying? Backstab, lied, hide in his apartment, all these good things. But you got people calling this dude an OG and he can't show you one dog that he ever bred that makes sense. The dude ain't bred nothing. He tried to sell y'all little roast semen. He tried to sell y'all, that ain't none of his shit. That's somebody else's shit. He talks about Armani. Armani never did nothing. You know what I'm saying? He threatened Mel and told him that he was sending the GDs. He brought gang shit into it. Talking about the GDs got Chubb now, the dog that he stole. You know what I mean? I got to go through legal processes to take a dog back. The motherfucker literally got all of this shit going on. No, I don't have a problem. Look, Keith, with the fake profile. Calm down, bitch. I don't have a problem with Armani. But I never put Armani in my top 50 dogs. I believe that Armani has good blood. If you get close to Cairo like that, you have good blood. But it ain't nothing that Byron did. And it's been 5 years he's been selling Armani semen. The only dog y'all know about is Chubbs, and that's because I touched Chubb. Tell me another dog off Armani that y'all know. I'm just being real. If we gonna put people in my class and y'all always down for the drama and this, that, and the other, tell me what. Armani doesn't have anything else that y'all know about. Nobody did an ozone breeding. All of this shit that's been going on, and that's why I say we live in a fictional world. I don't have a problem with Armani, bitch. I have a problem with the notion that somebody actually is blowing something up to be bigger than what it is. The problem with it is that, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Yeah, and pretty much we can, you right, he can go ahead on about his business. But at the end of the day, what it boils down to is that this is a community where you can make yourself into something that you are not. Byron don't have dogs. Byron ain't never produced a dog. Byron is a liar. Byron is a thief. Byron is everything that's wrong with the community. But at the end of the day, it is what it is that we see people promote themselves. And this is a dog show, right? It's a dog show. And I'm being honest with y'all. I've been around here for years, and I'm not being tough. Because some of y'all know the real story. You know what I mean? This is a dog show. Not many people have ever brought dogs to the table. What was talking about? A sick litter. Well, what's the dog's names? See what I mean? We can't live in a world. We have to get back to the point to where I had to bring my dog. You hear me? Yeah, it probably is Byron. You know what I mean? The same dude who hid in his house when I showed up. Oh, get the stuff out the car. You know what I mean? But we used to have dogs. When I say Fabian, y'all say Remy, right? Y'all say Remy Line. When I say Carlton Pratt's, y'all say a multitude of dogs. You know what I'm saying? Nemesis, Kamali. You know, we can go down the list. Sway. When I say Oscar, it's too many to mention. You know what I mean? When I say Dave, you can at least say Cairo and Little Row. What are these other people bringing to the table? You know what I mean? We allow people to come in here with celebrity and drama and a bunch of fictional bullshit, and it ain't none of that, bro. It ain't none of that, bro. It ain't none of that. At the end of the day, when it comes down to it is that the thing about it is that when you base yourself off of affiliation and talking about this, that, and the other, but you can't bring a dog to a dog show, it is ridiculous. When you can be in a community and fake everything, and we've seen so much fake. I've seen so much. I don't even get upset about it no more, Mel. All these fake tough guys. Everybody tough, but they got fake profiles and they hide and shit and call the police. That's why I would never let y'all do that shit to me again. I'm from a place to where, and hey, I know we talking dogs, but I'm from a place, and a lot of y'all's like that, where if you run your mouth, you be ready to back that shit up. A lot of these motherfuckers ain't gonna back nothing up. They gonna talk crazy, and as soon as you blow down on them, they gonna be calling the damn police. I'm not getting the police called on me no more. I'm tired of going to jail. I'm tired. Y'all, this is a perfect example as we talk on this thing. We've had a whole discussion about people talking about dogs that don't exist, situations that don't exist, and the very basic situation that we need to be talking about is healthy dogs and respect for the dogs in this community to make this community rise. The people are never going to make this community rise. It's the dogs. If you keep on, Justin, we got to talk about that. I don't know how to do the mod thing, so you're going to have to walk me through that, but I need to be on there. But the thing of it is that we got too many people who come in here and they talk this and they talk that, but at the end of the day, the product is not there. You know what I mean? The product is not there. It's just not. The product is no great dogs out here. I ain't saying no like that, by the way. But when it comes down to it, there's no great dogs out there anymore. Everything is what it is, and it happens the way it happens. I mean, it's the same thing. Talking about when is the next TBKC show? When I throw the motherfucker. This is the saddest thing, is that I stand on business. And my business is this, is that y'all believe that that makes power. And I'm gonna give y'all some real shit right now. Y'all believe that it brings power to try to troll, to talk shit, to I don't give a fuck. Let me tell you about my life. I don't give a fuck about no trolls or nothing. I actually have gotten to a point in my life where I'm happy with myself. You know what I mean? I seen death and destruction. I seen my mama laying on the table with enough holes in her to call her a pincushion, along with my aunt. I've been through the trauma. I've been through the depression. I've been through the penitentiary, drug dealing and killing and this and that and the other. And all of the madness, people killing off my dogs, people killing off my dogs again, people playing like that they was friends and then stabbing you in the back a million times and calling the police and going through so much that throughout all of that, here I am. And if we be real, even though I was out of my mind, probably ever since I was a teenager, I made an impact in the community. I made dogs that people can still talk about. I helped make a breed that exists to this day. I have beautiful babies. I got a good life and I'm still me. Meanwhile, I have never a day in my life diminished myself to be a grown ass, bitch ass man who hides behind fake screen names, who hides behind lies and believes that their power is to try to make somebody else think badly of another man. Do you know how small you have to be? I speak the facts and we all have to own up to our facts, but never a day in my life have my superpower been to let me see what I can do, and I'm gonna go through all the powers to make a fake screen name instead of standing on business and being who I am. How small do you have to be? Would you really tell your woman, look at me, babe, I'm making a fake screen name and following everything that this man do to talk about him? That would make you a hoe. Your woman wouldn't look at you no kind of way. You really think that I'm gonna feel bad about this? You think that I'm gonna really feel bad about Byron, a dude who's jealous, who stole from me, who acted like he was a friend, who hid in his apartment when I came to get my shit like a cowardly bitch, gets on the internet talking all kind of crazy, threatening a young man like Mel, making up gang stories talking about the GDs is coming to get the dogs, shits on himself, and I put right hand to God that. Shitty ass draws, stole an apartment from a woman that he drove so crazy with steroids that she threw herself out of her car, rolled down the street, and literally left everything in the apartment to get away from this motherfucker. You think I'm gonna feel what? Stole his sister's car when she went to rehab. I put this on my mama, DeCarla Quincy, been gone for over 30 years. This is who, you think I'm gonna be affected by the words of some low-life punk like this that's still talking about a bodybuilding career that basically never really happened? I ain't gossiping. This is what I know for a fact. I was there. This is shit that I could post text messages and say. None of us are perfect, but if you think that I am ever going to feel small by midgets trying to take shot at me, never. Y'all follow me. I don't even know y'all. Y'all perform so much fellatio, y'all should get a contract. Pornhub is hiring because y'all always on this thing. Y'all always worried about me. I don't even know y'all. I don't even care about y'all. I talk about healthy dogs, man. People around the world know my dogs. They don't know you. You know me. It's a role reversal. How dare you talk about like a woman when you a bitch hiding behind a fake screen name and talking about another grown man? I would never, as I sip my tea. I don't follow these people. I don't care to know them. The only reason why I know about Byron is because he used to always fuck with me and I seen how he behaved. So this is the truth. Like I say, y'all know I don't play with God and I sure don't play with DeCarla, neither one of them, or neither none of them. Because there's a lot of DeCarlas, everybody named after my mama and my family. I'm telling y'all the truth. You think I would trip about a grown man who's never made a damn dog in existence, that shits on himself, steals cars from his sister, steals apartments, women trying to kill themselves and all kind of carrying on, and you're on the internet playing gangster and talking shit with a stolen dog? I don't have time for that. This is the community that y'all live in. Just like I didn't care when y'all put your all-star crew together with Tone. At the end of the day, what it comes down to is that it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm going to take care of my people in Hawaii. But once again, you show your bitchness because you're in my business. Anybody, and it's only 5 people realistically that I owe a puppy to, and I definitely owe them. I don't have a problem with it. See, that's grown man shit. But I don't be in other people's business. You are literally a stalker type bitch that's on here doing this, and this is what's wrong with our community, because if we talk about healthy dogs, no one wants to talk about it, but y'all think that somehow I would ever feel bad. I don't feel bad about nothing. I don't ever feel bad about anything. I'm a grown man and I stand on my business. I put myself back together after the world tried to break me. I could never do that. And when I talk to bitches, I get a strong understanding that you would never understand my language. You would never understand what it was like to stand in the trenches and stand up against horrible things your whole life. People's opinions just don't matter to me. I go to sleep with a woman who's madly in love with me every night. My babies love me to death. I don't care anything about what anybody has to hate. I know the true legacy that I created in dogs, and I hope that more people create a legacy in dogs that will help this breed survive. It's always been about healthy dogs. That's it. That's it. Anything else doesn't matter. Because like I've told y'all before, and y'all seen this behavior for hundreds of years. It was people with fake screen names and people who talk crazy and this, that, and the other. And at the end of the day, guess what happened? When I showed up, they called the police. That's it. Oh, I'm done with it. But I had to say what I had to say, Jesus, because this is the thing. Remember when I started this thing, I said, sometimes we be quiet and we give the losers and the liars and the bitches a loud voice, and we don't tell the truth. And the truth of the matter is that this is a sad committee of men who try to play troll, who take so much interest in other men and want to destroy a community. But at the end of the day, the animals suffer. That's it. Because we know, and I mean that with every inch of my anatomy, we know for a fact that these people who hide behind keyboards and talk crazy and this, hey Zeus, you've been following me for years, and I've always shown up. They would never say anything to me on a personal basis, because a bitch got to be a bitch in person. Online, you just look for attention. But as we go forward in the dog world, you know, it is what it is. And as we go forward in the dog world, you know what I mean? We just have to be who we have to be. You know what I mean? And it is what it is, you know? And that's the simple way to get rid of people like that. But when we go forward in this dog world, we have to understand the reality versus the hype, the reality versus the drama. The only reality that ever matters in this dog world, and I ain't asking y'all to like me. I'm not asking you to like my dogs. None of that. I still pray for y'all and I love y'all and I hope y'all do the best. But when it comes down to it, we have to make good dogs. I want to go to shows, man. I want to go to shows to where our dogs actually can compete. That's it. I want to go to shows where we're proud of the product that we see and not these wobbling, slobbering, half-dead, fucked up animals that embarrass us. I don't just say this for me. It's not about me. I seen the work that Danny Navoa put in. I seen the work that, you know what I mean, that, oh, he's blocked. Hey, thank you, Smokey. But I've seen the work that these individuals have put in, you know, Cruz. Even though I don't like Cruz, Cruz put in a lot of work. Oscar put in a lot of work. You know what I mean? We're not going to forget Rich out there with Gotti Line and the Gotti Line family. You know what I mean? It was so many people that put in so much work. And at the end of the day, this is where we at. A worldwide embarrassment. You got people who would rather troll than to put up with the fact that our dogs is getting banned because people are mixing in aggressive dogs and they're killing children, man. We don't have real good dog shows anymore. Yes, the WBA is trying, and now that I got my staff, hopefully I'll be able to try and we'll do some things. But It has to get back to a space to where this breed is respectable. And I hate to tell y'all this, but the breed is just not respectable right now. It's just not. It's not something that we can be proud of. It's not about D-line dogs, dog. It's not about D-line dogs. Y'all please hit that like button so this thing get to going, because y'all gonna love it when we get these folks on here. But it's not about D-line dogs. I show love to a lot of different breeders, young breeders, you know, people who just getting into the game who want to do it right. I love to see beautiful dogs. If y'all see me on the page, I'm always in the Remy page because I love, you know what I mean? You know what? I'm gonna be positive in this. I see the breed, I see the true American bully taking its own course and sort of moving away from everything else. I do think you're going to have a huge ass argument. You know what I mean? Oh, that American bulldog will bite the shit out of you. It's a guard dog. But I do see the American bully going its own way. Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom, and I believe this dog dying this year hit rock. Hey, I appreciate you, John Smith. I believe this dog dying this year really opened up some eyes, because I got more messages recently than I've ever gotten. You know what? The exotic movement is dying itself. They don't want to admit it, and I think the exotic community throws a hellified party. I've been invited to a couple exotic shows. I plan on actually going to some and enjoying myself. You know, it's crazy to be the fuck exotic guy, and I've gotten more love from the exotic community than probably the American bully community, because a lot of the exotic breeders and stuff have been hitting me, talking back and forth about, like, how do we go the right way to try to make micros and this and that and the other. And we've had some good ass conversations, but they have noticed that things have really slowed down in the exotic community. You can't buy dogs. I mean, they're not selling dogs at the rate that they were selling dogs before. The general interest is going away. You know what I mean? Because we all know, you know, you spend that type of money and you have high hopes to be able to keep this up, travel, do all these things, and then it just goes bad, you know? Hey, Catherine, ABKC don't even know what they're breeding to, you know? But you know, I think the exotic, you know what I mean, it's on the same pace as the American bully, that the hype is gone. And that's the way everything is. You know, once you introduce anything new and it's going to be live, that first little part, everybody's going to love it. You know what I mean? You introduce, I don't care what it is. You introduce anything new. I remember when people used to fight over Beanie Babies, you know? if you do what you do, it's going to be beautiful for a minute, but you have to have something to sustain it. And this is the point where we're at, you know? It wasn't, you know, we used to pay booty models and you have celebrities and you'd have all of these things, and we were trying to get to breed a lot of stature, but it worked, right? But at some point in time, you have to get to a point to where the only thing that matters is the dogs. The reason that people love the other breeds around the world is because they love the dog. You know what I mean? Oh, Mel, we all the way in the lab. I'm telling y'all what, Mel got like 4 breedings coming up with just real old school good American bully blood. I'm gonna announce them once they confirmed. I don't want y'all. I don't want to be like pumping shit up and it don't go through. But Mel got some bad shit coming up. You know, you have to have something to really stand on. Like when you look at, and then this is a big difference, right? If you go to other bloods, right? Even though some of those bloods are named after people, like if you talk about the pit bull, or if you talk about the Rottweiler, or if you talk about whatever the case may be, the dogs are the stars. The bloodlines, the years and years of those bloodlines, you know what I mean? The Kobe's of the world and all of those different things, man. That's how you put a breed forward, you know? And you're right, Big Mel. The dogs suffer from our behavior, but we have not, like, when this breed started, if you thought about it, man, Paco was a far bigger star than Marco. Hallie at that time was a bigger star than me. Even though people knew Fabian, Remy was tattooed on their forearms. You know, we have to get back to a point where the dogs are the show. We have to get back to a point where people are not trying to seek attention, but they're trying to make dogs that give the attention. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be dictated by who's friends with the registry and we're going to do a bunch of marketing and this and that and the other. It's just when it's organic and you make something that's so nice that everybody just loves it. It's amazing. I'm going to tell you the best thing about Denzel, if you ask me about Denzel, was I was hated, you know? I was hated. People was literally, I mean, let's just be realistic. People was really, you know, talking about their guns and shit if we came to a show and this, that, and the other. Denzel was so much of a game changer. Even though they hated me, they had to let him win nationals. He still kept on growing. He still kept on doing his thing. And it goes to show you is it's not about the owner. You know, as I started to attack Dax and Miyagi and different things, I got all kind of backlash, and Denzel just kept going further, further, and further because he kept producing, and then we kept on making dogs with him. That's the part. It doesn't matter how much hate you got. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who likes you, this, that, and the other. If you can produce dogs that are game changers, it just helps to breed so much. And if you think about it at this point in time, who is the real game changers in this breed? Who's going to make the next game changer? And I ain't talking about you paying Google to put your shit up and all that. I'm talking about a dog that creates such nice, healthy, clean, true American bullies that it reinvigorates the sport. It reinvigorates people wanting to do this again, people taking pride in their dogs again. I think the saddest part about the American bully right now is that there's no more pride. And I ain't gonna get emotional, but I'll tell you what, I got a tear in my eye when I think about how fucked up the dogs get done right now. Yeah, you're right, Denzel took it. All credit to him. But y'all don't know, like it's different for me because I've been around for so long, but to see so many American bullies in these shelters and shit, you know what I mean? It's sad, bro. To go from where we was at and how we did things to seeing that these dogs are being thrown away like trash, killed like trash. To see a community that doesn't even care when the dogs do get killed or that people do fucked up things to these dogs. It's sad, bro. It's sad. People in this community really just don't care about dogs. That's the saddest part. All they care about is themselves and what attention they can get. This is a space where they get to be celebrities, and they, you know, they always say that fame is the strongest drug known to man, and I believe it because people would do anything for attention, man. Anything. It's heartbreaking, you know? It's heartbreaking. When I saw that truck and the whole back of the truck was just full of dogs, man, that fucked me up. I'm not a big drinker, but I had to get drunk because I was so mad and I was so hurt because we all know the process of having a litter and you see these little puppies and they all excited and they so full of life, and then you be like, how the fuck did you go from that whelping box to these people just putting a needle in you like you a piece of trash? And how is it that people just don't give a fuck? That's the saddest part about the American bully community, is that you get more people who care about their drama and about their bullshit, and they won't put their ass on the line because they would never fight a day in their life. You know what I mean? But the reality of the shit is that it's pathetic that we live in a community that really don't give a fuck about dogs, man. I'll be honest with y'all. They just do not give a fuck about these dogs. It's all a show. It's all drama. No, Oscar, the WBA Oscar, man. That's my brother. Oscar is dogs. You know, we come from that same place. You love the animals. Even when you don't love people. I know some of y'all real dog people know how that is. I love my little fucked up dogs, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I cuss them out and shit. But I love them, you know? To have this community, because that's the difference. People didn't understand. We would never bring our dogs to a show dirty, and we wouldn't let our dog, like, you just didn't kill your dogs, you know what I mean? You just didn't, we cared, like, we was rescuing dogs and doing all kind of crazy shit, and oh, we gonna see. We gonna see how my blood go with Remy. I already know what's gonna happen. Absolute fire, beautiful heads, beautiful heads. Watch what I tell you. But I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man, and it hurts. It hurts a lot to see where we're at because everybody's attention is all in the wrong places. All in the wrong places. It's like we have to restart. We have to go back to first and foremost, breed responsibly. You know, stop going to these places where I'm just going to breed. Let me see what happened. But you don't even care where the dogs go. You're not even working your ass off to find a good home for the dogs. And sometimes what we have to do is we have to get to a point to where we work. You know what I mean? From the drunk guy, I'm trying to think which one was the. Oh no, yeah. She ended up dying, man. They killed her. They killed a lot of my dogs, man. It's just we live in an evil world, man, where people will do anything, and unfortunately, you know, it's less protection, you know, for animals than it is the animals who mistreat dogs, you know. So a lot of people several people going to end up in jail behind this shit. But I just have to be calm, man. You know what I'm saying? Because trust me, I want to bust a couple people's head wide the fuck open, but they ain't gonna do nothing but call the police and play victim. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I probably seriously won't do a Denzel breeding for another year at least. Have to get the right female. You know what I mean? Yeah, people are evil, man. It's just like when, and I have no doubt, and I have no doubt Dave Wilson and Cruz, they definitely had something to do with when De Niro got killed, you know, and it was 7 dogs out there that got killed when De Niro got killed. You know what I'm saying? Danny's daughter had to find the dogs out there dead with foaming out at the mouth. This is how fucked up the game is, and people, you know, you it's sad that you see, like, just like that dumbass bitch that was on here, y'all excuse my language, y'all know I cuss a lot. But these people don't care about dogs. Dave don't care about dogs. When you introduce money and attention, it's sad. That's just it. You know what I mean? That's just it. When it comes down to it, that's just it. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, you know what I mean? You look at motherfuckers and they just keep making fake screen pages, come back, this, that, and the other. It's weird, man. And this is the saddest thing. I had a lady. Well, not had a lady. She's actually going to be a part of what we do, but she's from the Bourbeau community, and she got, you know, doing some research, seeing how she's going to conduct herself, and she started looking at our pages on Facebook and shit, and she was just like confused. She's like, this has to be like some kind of joke. And I was like, well, what do you mean? I knew what she meant. But she's like, it has to be some kind of joke. She's like, look at the way people conduct themselves. She's like, it's not even about dogs. You know what I mean? She's like, it's not about dogs. And this is the way the rest of the world looks at the American bully community is, if you know, like the very first thing when you go to, say, they call them appraisals with Bourbeaus. But the whole appraisal process is to see the quality of the dog. You know what I mean? The dog is getting checked out in every which way. It's, you know, it's all about dogs. then those people come to our community and they see like all these weirdos, you know. You see people post dogs that the dog is obviously just not a good dog, and you see 100,000 likes on the picture and the people pumping up the stuff, and it's just weird. It's weird. You know, it's weird. And this is why we can't get any traction, because in order for our community to grow, other dog people have to become interested in the American Bully. But the standards of what the entire world looks at dogs is, we don't do it. Like, people are confused when they see our dogs having trouble breathing and we're still letting them show. When they can, first thing that we spot a lot in this breed is the rear ends and how high the rears are. Other breeders look at that and they're like, why is that dog's rear like that? You get novice who don't know the breed and they look and they're like, what's wrong with that dog? But we've got people putting ribbons on them and bragging about how much money they're making off of them. It's just not a good look, and the community is not trying. I mean, other people are not trying to join this community, you know? And what's Mega, I tell you, I don't even believe that everybody has their own vision. Not disagreeing with you, because that's the way they do it. But I just think it's not even, they don't even have a vision. It's one of those things of, let me try something, and if it works and people like it, you know what I mean? All right, hey, hit me up for sure, man. Stop lying. Hit me up when you get off or get some time. But if people like it, I'm gonna go with it. You know, that's sort of what they do. You know, that's what they do. It's like, if anybody likes it, I'm gonna go with it, whether it's the standard or not. But think about it. It's been led by the registry, because that's why the ABKC changes so much, because whatever is liked, they go along with it. Without structure, you have chaos. There is no structure. You know, immediately the Brazilian bull, or whatever it's called, it gets really any time after like 4 o'clock your time, Justin. But when the Brazilian bull got popular, what did the ABKC do? They added it. When Merles started getting popular, they added it in a weird way. Miyagi was so popular that they added it. You know, they never would do anything to Dax. Yeah, I know. I'm only an hour behind you. But these were all things that should have been banned, and they kept allowing them. And now look at the position that the breed is in. You know, the Merle genetics are doing something weird to these dogs, because I don't know if y'all know whether it's the Frenchie or the American Bully. The Merles are starting to look weird as hell. You know, and then the Miyagi stuff. We knew that the Miyagi was Frenchies, but they allowed that. We knew that the Dax stuff had heart issues and rear issues, and they allowed that. And this is what we see in people's yards, is that if it's popular, it's acceptable, and they press the gas on it, and it is diluted down the American Bully community so bad, you don't even, like, I remember when Catherine was looking for a nice stud, and she couldn't even find a stud that was health tested. Like, so few people health test any of the studs. It's ridiculous. And I understand that not every, that doesn't mean that because your dog is not health tested, it's not healthy. But if we're going to sell the dogs for $2,500, $5,000, $10,000, what is killing you about doing a health test to make sure that people are getting the things that they need? You know, all of the dogs I have now are new dogs, Mega. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's one of those things to where we put ourselves in horrible positions as a community, and we are falling apart. Where are we gonna go? I told y'all this with Dax, and nowadays it's crazy because the Dax dogs seem almost normal compared to what we're seeing now. And it's just a thing to where we need, like, I mean, I can't even tell you my top 5 dogs now because you wouldn't know them. That's just that. Is like I got a couple double bred Mandela daughters. I got actually three double bred Mandela daughters. You know, I have, of course, Odell. I'm about to go get him back. Uh, I mean, it's dogs that most of these. Odell is probably the biggest name you're gonna know. You know, the rest of them is dogs that I made that never really got a chance to get a name. It's just my blood, but it's good shit. A lot of Mandela, a lot of Denzel. But yeah, I haven't bred for 2 years, so it's just stashing shit away. And I'm gonna do the breedings now, but you know who knows how that's gonna go. I got some nice shit. Yeah, Odell made it through. But like I said, I don't like when it comes to this shit. Like even this situation, it puts me in an odd situation because I'm literally against all y'all know I ain't no damn, but I have to deal with the FBI. I have to deal with the Texas Rangers because this is a large level animal abuse case. It's a large level theft case, and you know it's been a lot of manipulation that went on. So I have to work with these people, and it's unfortunate because in the long run, you know, some people you know who are important to my kids are going to go to jail for a long time. You know, and but you know justice has to be served, and it's pathetic that how hateful people are. I never thought that I would see a situation where people are just this hateful towards animals in general, just so hateful in general, man. But the American bully community, and it's not to say we're the only community with hateful people, but this community is a hateful ass community, man. Some of the lies that people do and the things that they do. And I mean, and nobody ever looked at it like that. But that's why when I was getting into it with Tone Roden and all that weirdo shit, you know what I mean? It was strange because I know the process, right? I know the process that if the dogs can't breathe, right? Y'all check this out and you tell me I'm lying. Christmas every year, right? Everybody wanted to adopt a dog. By New Year's, they all bring them back for one problem or another. And the number one problem is the potty training. But then if there's any kind of health issue, they bring the dogs back. And it's amazing to me because they do this thing and we breed these dogs. What do you think somebody's going to do if their dog can't breathe and they go to the vet and the vet's like, well, you can do the surgery, but the surgery is $2,500. What do you think will happen to that puppy? But you got these so-called great breeders telling people, oh yeah, just take him, just do a surgery. Then it's going to need something else. So all of these dogs are just destined to die. Very rarely is anybody going to keep an unhealthy dog its whole life and just keep on kicking money into it and doing all this stuff because people want a dog. They think of the dog going outside and running around. Well, if I was running the ABKC, the first thing I would do is fire probably 80% of the judges. The next thing I would do is demand DNA testing and cardiovascular testing on any dog that wants to be registered. Those would be the first steps. You know, the reason why I'm firing a lot of judges is because I believe that the ABKC has a big problem with corrupt judges. We notice patterns of certain dogs that shouldn't win, but they're in certain cliques and all that shit. The shit that you hear people complain about. So I would bring in judges who are non-biased, probably judges from other breeds, and just judge to the standard and tell them pick the clean dog. Don't give a damn who's showing the dog or whatever the case may be. The reason why I would go with DNA testing is because we have to get to a point where these people are stopping getting into this mixing dogs all the time. The mixing dogs is going to kill the breed. It's literally killing the breed. See, if I can stop the mixing of you bringing in a bulldog, then my judges can stick to the standard, and we can now, by generation, we can clean things up because they're going to stick to the standard of judging the dog in the ring as far as good movement and the real look, not a bulldog, but I want a clean dog. And when I say clean, your dog can be 100 pounds and 16 inches. If he's clean, he's clean. If he moves good, moves good. But this is breeding stock. And then if I do what I do, then what's going on, brewer? If I do what I do, then by generation we start eliminating bad characteristics. We start eliminating flaws and other things of that nature, and the breed gets better as a whole. I don't think that these restrictions should just be to the show ring. If it comes to our knowledge that a dog has an issue with its breathing or an issue with its health of any, you pull the papers. You don't allow the dog. This is something that has been driving me crazy with all the registries for years. Pull papers. If you get wind of a dog that has a major breathing issue, pull the papers. That's why I say before you register a litter, you should send out a certificate or, a sheet, and they have to have a vet check their dog for any cardiovascular issues, any heart defects, any breathing defects. And if that vet is not willing to sign off that this dog is cardiovascularly sound and there's no defects, then the dog shouldn't be allowed to be bred. It's not about the money you collect. It's about taking the dogs to the next level and eliminating these health issues. We can get pretty along the way. Good breeders is always going to make pretty dogs, and they're going to get prettier, and you can make them bigger and this and that and the other. But health is something that is the foundation. We start at the very bottom. You know what I'm saying? The very bottom. Catherine, that's what needs to happen. It needs to be health. It needs to be the premium pedigree is the standard pedigree everywhere. I don't understand why this community is so afraid of that. You know what I mean? We have to get to a point to where we can brag about the health of our dogs. We have to get to a point to where we can have dogs that can do more lure coursing events, that we can have outside shows and not worry about the damn dogs falling out and dying, but have big outside shows like we used to. This community will only grow if we can bring other dog people in. It has to happen. That's why it's dying, is because it's just constricting. And when you bring in other communities, what's going on, Rico? When you bring in other communities, and other communities are used to things like Rico's big time into weight pool. And we did the one event and it was weight pulling there. And it was great to see how many people were excited about the weight pool. And, things are unfortunate. Shit didn't go the way, but we can always get it back. But I would love to see how big things could get if more of these dogs had a purpose outside of the show ring. Every dog doesn't need to be a show champion. Some of these dogs could be weight pool champions. Some of them can be athletic and do lure coursing. But once we get the dogs to where you have more than one variable that's bringing people to the shows, bringing people into participation, now you're going to see growth. When you have a weight pool community in the American Bully, that's bringing growth. That's people doing things with their dogs, loving what they're doing. When you have obedience competitions with the dogs, that's another section of people who are coming in with the dogs. When you have the lure coursing, that's another section of people who's coming in. You know what I mean? Yeah, and yeah, so definitely. Yeah, you can do it, and some can do everything, Rico, but this is the only way that this community grows. This idea of keep on promoting the way that we promote and standing on nothing, including health, is shrinking the narrative. It's not allowing these dogs to grow. You have too many people shining a light on themselves and trying to make themselves bigger instead of making a better dog. Could y'all imagine, and I'm being serious with y'all, I'm gonna go over time, but could you imagine going to shows and they killed Tommy? But could you imagine going to shows and you see 50, 60 people over here doing weight pool? Could you imagine, 50, 60 people, and they trying to win doing a lure coursing? Even having the kids try to bring their dogs through the lure coursing and different shit. Could you imagine the obedience testing? You can even do some bullies will do protection work. You can do protection work and judge on that. You know what I'm saying? Start pushing them towards maybe even like a Schutzen type competition, because these dogs can do it. I've seen too many of them do it. But if you have more than just come in the show, have the same old rusty ass judge, look at the dog, oh yeah, he's the one, and hope that he don't die before he get out the ring. If you bring all of these other aspects into the dogs, man, Mega, I'll never understand why. Well, because healthy dogs is a responsibility and it's something that's hard to do. You know what I mean? It's hard to do. And the American Bully has turned everything into a shortcut. It's sad, but the American Bully has turned every single thing that we do. Hey, what are you doing? Damn dog, crazy. But the American Bully has turned everything into a shortcut. So the thing of it is that yeah, they don't want the dogs to do the talking. You know why? Because of the egos, Rigo. If we really just had to let the dogs do the talking, and it was about making the best dog like it used to be back in the day, a lot of people would feel diminished because they can't breed. You know, a lot of y'all know, and I'm not taking shots at anybody, but a lot of y'all know people who've been around forever. They got a lot to say, but they can't make a quality dog. Not by the real rules of making dogs. If the dogs had to be judged on health, proper conformation, and fitting the look of an American Bully, they can't do it. Think about that. So what does that say? It takes away from them. It takes away from their banners when they're posting on there. It takes away from them when people talk about the honorable this and the legendary this and all these titles that they give themselves. Most of these dudes who y'all look up to in the community, they really have not produced a complete dog. I'm being serious. The vast majority of these dudes have not produced a complete dog. It should never be a... What's going on, CC? It should never be a argument or a debate about making a complete dog. These are basic dog rules. You know, whenever I pick up this Bordeaux, I plan on doing some showing. It's a different community. I would never show at my own events, but I look forward to it because it's so straight up. You know what I mean? It's so straight up. If my dog is good, we'll win. If my dog isn't good, then we'll lose. That makes it fun because you know what you have to do. You know what I mean? It's not I know my dog can't come in there with crooked feet. I know my dog can't have things that are outside of the standard. This makes it a competition, and that's what really got us going back in the day. You know? Man, Mega, these are supposed to be dogs. They're supposed to get out and run. You know what I mean? And Catherine, you know I'm big on that, but I think we're at a point where every dog should be health tested. And even if it's to a minimum regards, I think every single dog that's being bred, that's being shown, should be health tested. You know? Now, performance and stuff like that, technically, a performance dog, you don't have to health test it because, like you were saying, Catherine, the performance is going to tell the story. You know, if that dog is out there performing like hell, well, he's healthy. But we have to change the genetics. It's going to be a lot of shutting down on the genetics. It's like the opposite. We are going to have to go. We're going to have to go to a place to where we're going reverse. Because when we started to breed, we tried to expand it. Now we sort of have to contract the breed and make it better. You know, it's a lot of eliminating, and I know people are going to get offended, but we just have to eliminate a lot of stuff. Yeah, I mean the AKC is a standard. You know what I mean? When one of the big things I would love to do. Hey Rico, I might have to put my boy in there. I might have to call you. We might have to try to figure something out. You know what I'm saying? I love competition, and Bordeaux's are strong as hell. You know that. So yeah, between that, yeah, I might have to look into that because I want to do different things, but. You know, and that's a competition that even in my own registry I could compete in because ain't no way you're gonna cheat in weight pulling. But we just have to have these things that make our community different. Because our community has a black eye, and just showing up with the same old judges, the same old beat up dogs, and telling the world that we're getting better. It's not the way. Like at some point in time, because this is why, you know what I mean? Where are we at now? 20, it was it's like 22 years since the registry, but probably closer to 30 years since the breed really start going. I'm gonna tell you, we haven't established a breed really. And the reason we haven't established the breed is because the breed has no purpose. It doesn't have anything. It's hard to sell the world on the fact that, you know, it's about looks, but then you talk about the looks and they can look at the dogs that are winning and the dogs are not that great, you know. And it's not a flattering thing to meet American bullies in person when you hear a lot of the breathing issues and different things like that. And then, you know, just as a community, it's very abrasive and it's a lot of nonsense that goes on. And we just have to sort of churn it down a little bit and get to a point that we are in a space to where we're doing our thing, you know. We're doing our thing and looking like the AKC. For a long time, we looked at the AKC as the enemy. The AKC is the standard. We should be able to have a very nice show where you bring in a bunch of dogs that look alike and you can get the guy on the mic and he starts reading the standard, and that dog is an excellent representative of that standard. That's the only way for this breed to cross over. It should be the dream that people start looking at these dogs as more of a hobby and a passion and less as a hustle, you know? Most of these people just quite simply look at this shit as a hustle. They don't give a damn about their dogs. And you can tell by how some of the dogs always live. They're always, the judges always have to wear latex gloves because these people won't even wash the damn dogs. Man, Jesus, don't you start with that shit. I'm gonna make sure I hit you up, if not today, tomorrow, my brother. But we just have to create a good community to where we can have dogs that excel at something different. The show scene is over with. And I don't mean over with in that sense. I mean, we have to start building up to where we can compete head to head with Dobermans, Rottweilers, Dalmatians, other dogs. And they're strictly about conformation. You know what I mean? They're strictly about conformation. Yeah. And that's something else. Every time, y'all have heard me say this, every time you're giving a dog a ribbon, you're giving a dog points towards a championship. Why would you do that? Why would you give a dog a blue ribbon if you know the dog has a high rear? Or if you know the dog has a bad bite, or if you know the dog has bad feet, or whatever the case may be. I know it strikes a nerve with people, but we should be only giving blue ribbons to very, very, very nice conformation dogs. You know, very nice conformation dogs. If there's no dog out there that you can look at and say, well, he's very nice or she's very nice, then don't get a ribbon. Because we have to make it to the point to where the championship means something again. When I hear American Bully Champion, I want to be like, oh shit, you know, I want to have an idea that I'm about to go in here and see a badass dog, not a dog that's a disappointment. And so many of these dogs that are champions, and there's no fault of the owners because the owners are just competing. It's the fault of the registries for handing out ribbons to dogs that should never get ribbons, you know? The owners can only do what they can do. The registry is supposed to stop that shit. And it's just so unfortunate that they give ribbon after ribbon after ribbon after ribbon after ribbon after ribbon after ribbon. And now the championship just doesn't mean anything. And I think that that's another reason why the show scene is getting smaller, because like to be honest with y'all, like, would anybody be impressed by the term champion anymore? It just doesn't mean anything anymore. I'm sorry, but it just does not mean what it used to mean. Before, if you had a champion, you was like, yeah, this is a badass dog. The championship title doesn't mean anything. And I'm not saying that to pick on that dog, but I mean, think of it. The champion of all champions this year is already dead. You know, already dead. You know, do y'all remember who last year's champion was, or the year before that? I do, but it just goes to show you it doesn't mean anything. You know, because they're not killing the game at all. It's a sad state of affairs, and we really have to get back to that. It's sad how many people actually don't know how to breed. It's sad how people don't know how to read through pedigrees and different things like that to try to figure out some things. It's just and you're right, Mega. It's like just keep lowering the standard. Yeah, like oh, so many grand champions, like so many grand champions. Like how I feel depressed about it. How many grand champions can there be? Well, excuse me. This is exactly what they do, and we're not going to get any better, you know. And it's not to pick on Bashar's dogs, but none of Bashar's dogs outside of Magoo should have ever been a champion. Why would you put titles on that? It diminishes the title, you know. It diminishes any other sport, and this is a sport. When you win a title, it means something, you know. It means something. People be ready to tear the city up if their team gets a title. Right now, the American Bully Championship just doesn't mean anything. You know, it doesn't. It's sad, you know. You know what, Daniel? I think if I'm gonna tell you slowly but surely, you're right. The UKC is slowly but surely they're gonna creep up on the ABKC because the UKC is following standards. The UKC has far nicer American bullies than the ABKC does right now. And it carries more weight. If your dog is a UKC American Bully Champion, it does carry a lot more weight than it does to say that your dog is an ABKC champion. You know? You remember when I threw away all those trophies? That was a lot of fucking trash. That shit filled up what was that, like a 90-gallon trash can or some shit. Yeah, I mean, because it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean anything anymore. And I hate it, but it just doesn't mean anything anymore, man. You know, and we have to get back to that. You know, we have to get back to that, and we have to. I think it's going to be more fun, right? And I say this in closing, but I think it's going to be more fun when we have not standard as in what the dogs are, but a standard that we have to live up to. You know. Yeah, yeah, Rico. I think it's already happened too. When we have a standard that we can live up to that makes our dog special and we know what we have to attain, I think it's going to cut out a lot of the people who breed low, you know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's funny because, you know, Catherine, Dave complains about everything and every time, you know what I mean? Every time that someone makes a move on the American Bully, but it's all his fault. If he had, you know, for lack of a better term, you know what I'm saying, he had the game by the throat and he just decided to do the things that he did. He kept on, you know, making these deals and kept on doing this and kept on doing that. Now we're just at a point where the American Bully is just a thing, you know. It's just a thing in the ABKC world, but in the UKC, structure creates success. You know, structure creates success. That's one of the terms I use when I'm training people. I always say structure creates success. If you know, like, no matter what, I got to get up at 4 a.m. and that's just me. But I got to get up at 4 a.m., got to be to the gym by this time, got to get this done, no matter if I'm sleepy or whatever the case may be. When I'm done, I feel like I've done something and I'm on my way, you know. I know what I have to do. In the American Bully community, we just don't know what we have to do, you know. When you are in other communities, you know your dog can't have bad feet. And there's nothing wrong. Those are pet quality. In our community, we got this notion that half the litter is supposed to be show dogs. In a lot of communities, it's only 1 or 2 show dogs out of every litter, even if it's a 7 or 8 puppy litter. You know, it's going to be that one badass dog, and you're like, okay, you're the one. And that dog might not even become a champion, but that's the standard, you know. He's that good. Whereas in the bully community, you know, you got people who sell the runt and be like, just let him grow into it. He's going to become a champion, which is not to say the runt can't grow, but it's just it's just any dog that hits the ground, we're ready to call it a breeding dog. People don't even want to wait anymore. People don't want to wait at all. People want to, everything has to be a breeding dog, you know, right away. You know, I need to get him signed up. I need to start doing some breedings with this fool right away. You know what I mean? And it is what it is, man. I appreciate you, Mega. Well, look, we're going to do this every Monday. I'm going to try next Monday, whether it's Mel or Mike or one of the guys, maybe even Danny. And we're going to try to do this little split screen thing and have a dog talk like that. No drama, nobody's bullshit. Just talk dogs. This will be the first time that I brought in a guest. And we're going to roll on this one, man. And I tell y'all what, y'all know how to get in contact with me, but if some of y'all got a notion that y'all want to jump on here with me in the upcoming weeks, we're going to keep the Monday at 10 o'clock Mountain Time, whatever time that is, where y'all, we're going to keep that. But, man, y'all hit me up because I would love to bring people on and just talk dogs, and we're going to keep the bullshit going. But, I mean, keep the bullshit up out the way. And I'm really looking forward so y'all can get a chance to hear Danny Navoa because our conversations is going to be crazy. We're going to talk dogs. We're going to talk a little bit of everything. But y'all know how I end this, man. If you are going through anything, you know, always remember that it gets greater later. Keep praying, keep believing in yourself, keep loving yourself, man. Because no matter what a motherfucker say about you, you know, you are you. You've been through some things, and, you know, you got to keep loving yourself, man. Because if you don't love you, who else going to love you? But I appreciate y'all, and I talked to some of y'all on the phone this week, and the rest of y'all, I'll see y'all next Monday. God bless y'all. Much love. Peace. Absolutely.